I see with my clients that they think like the solution is like somewhere magical to be go
Mm-hmm.
found. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, girl, it's right there.
Right.
It's in
Uh-huh.
your fridge.
Yeah. Welcome to Hey Awesome Girl with Tivi Jones. Every week, we interview amazing boss babes in tech, medicine, law, entrepreneurship, entertainment, parenting, and more. About their lives, their goals, their why, in order to discover how every day they're working to add more pleasure, ease, and abundance in their orbit. Ooh, hold up. We gotta unpack that. This show is part business advice, part life coaching, part real talk with girlfriends. See how she be coaching me? If you're looking for a show that's real and relatable, but also inspiring at the same time, this is the one for you. I'm your host, Tivi Jones. I'm founder and CEO of the creative agency Hey Awesome Girl. I'm dog mom to Miss Olivia, the cutest little dog on the planet. And I am someone who loves the Harry Potter series, and I am a proud member, I tell you, of Hufflepuff House. In my business life, I've grown organizations, I've grown audiences, I've managed million-dollar budgets, led large marketing teams, and generated seven-figure contracts for my clients. On the show, I talk to other boss babes as we figure out how to add more pleasure, ease, and abundance into our lives. Today, you'll meet Meghan Stevenson, who is founder of Meghan Stevenson Books. Meghan works with entrepreneurs and experts who change the world and helps them publish best-selling books. She spent her entire year in publishing, starting as an intern in 2004 at Simon Schuster and ascending to assistant editor before moving to Penguin in 2008. She worked on multiple New York Times bestsellers, including The Bro Code, which developed out of an idea she had watching the TV show How I Met Your Mother. That book ended up selling more than 400,000 copies. In this episode, we talk about how she helps her clients get book deals, prepare for publishing, and how she goes about her process of helping her clients tell their stories. It's a really great episode, and it's really funny at times. We get off track a little bit, which I think is hilarious. So I know you will enjoy it. Hi, Meghan. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Tivi. Thank you for having me on. I'm very excited.
I'm excited to have you. Obviously, we were doing a bunch of prep before the episode, and I feel like I learned more about you, and so I'm excited to dig into that. But for folks who don't know you, please introduce yourself. Let folks know who you are, what you do.
Of course. So I'm Meghan Stevenson. I am a publishing expert, a ghostwriter, a collaborator, and editor. So I help people get book deals and build author platforms, which are a fancy word for audience specific for online entrepreneurs and experts who want to get a book deal at some point in their journey.
Mm-hmm.
We have remarkable success rates here. We have almost $4 million in deals in the past 12 months. And that's largely because I exist in this world with you all, right? With my entrepreneurial clients. I understand sales funnels and I understand literary agents. And so I bridge the gap really between this traditional publishing world that's very opaque and old boys club and closed off and the world of online entrepreneurship.
Wow. So many questions.
Usually that is like what happens. Yeah.
How did you get started doing this work?
Sure. Yeah. So the long version of the story is that I was a very bad writer and a very good editor in college. And one of my professors recognized that. And so she suggested that I look into book publishing. And so we found a program at Pace University. It's a graduate program.
Mm-hmm.
Most graduate programs in book publishing are actually job feeders in disguise. They're not very rigorous academically. So I ended up getting an internship at Simon and Schuster, was an editor at Simon and Schuster and at Penguin for 8 years. Left those jobs when I kind of hit my ceiling professionally in corporate
Mm-hmm.
and started working with online entrepreneurs. And then in 2019, like many entrepreneurs, I was doing a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2019, I met a woman, Rachel Rogers, who kicked my ass And after every call, she would do like a little coaching with me.
Uh-huh.
And she just really saw the opportunity for me to be much bigger and bolder and badder than I was at the time. And so
Mm.
I took the note and transformed my business from a sole prop that averaged about 60K a year to making $500,000 last year with a team of 5. So pretty expansive growth in the last 2 years.
Yes, hold on 1 second. Sorry,
Thank
I had to
you.
do
That was
it.
okay. That was amazing. I didn't even know that was possible. So
Congratulations. And that's how we met. First of all, everybody needs a Rachel
it's
Rogers
true.
to
I,
kick
I
your
am the
ass.
Rachel for some of my clients, I think, of being like, no,
Yes.
you don't get to do
Yes.
that, girl. What are you doing? Yeah.
But in a good way, right? Like how okay, so what's the process? Like let's start with how do you select your clients or what's your ideal type of client?
Of course. So our ideal client, we sort of have two different levels. So like every online entrepreneur, we have a funnel, right? We run
Mhm.
ads, we, do marketing on social media and through email. And 80% of our clients are not ready to write a book proposal because unlike
Mm.
everybody else in my industry, I won't write you a $35,000 Word document that's never going to do anything. So
Mm.
I want every client we work with on a proposal where I feel very confident. I can never guarantee success because it's
Mhm.
incredibly subjective, all the way past me, whether, the agents that we work with, the publishers, they all have to say yes. There's like probably 12 people involved in that decision every
Right.
single time. However, I know what works in the market. I have a crazy track record. I used to receive these proposals.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
I can, one of my talents, actually, one of my special skills and gifts from the universe is picking talent. So I
Mm.
can
Mhm.
see something and say, there's something there, right? The first time I met Rachel, I was like, yeah, I can sell that. Like, that's what
Yeah.
I always say. I was like, I can sell that. When she's ready to be sold, I can sell that, right? So
Uh-huh.
that's sort of how I feel about it. So 80% of the people aren't there yet. They need to
Mhm.
build their author platform. So that's for entrepreneurs, that's top of funnel, right? It's
Mhm.
emails, it's social media following, it's leveraged offers, it's all really, really
Mhm.
top of
Mhm.
funnel kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Um, and then for our clients with proposals, I'm always looking for diverse and marginalized voices because
Mhm.
they're underrepresented in publishing, like painfully so.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important just for me as a library kid. You'll see this Taylor Swift poster behind me. That's actually a American Library Association poster.
Mhm.
That she and other celebrities do this to promote reading. So that's like really why I'm in this business is because I love books and love reading and love learning. And
Yeah.
so I want my books to make a difference for the people, the end user, right? Which
Mhm.
is not actually the author, it's the reader. And
Mm.
so by
Mhm.
bringing in, more Black voices, more gay voices, more
Mhm.
non-binary voices, more Asian
Mhm.
voices, we actually can start to increase representation at the bookstore and in the library, which is really important. So that's
Mhm.
all just something that I always have in the back of my mind. Sorry about that.
You're
Um,
fine.
Another Rachel decision. My catered lunches are arriving downstairs.
Okay, catered lunches. That's $1 million decision right there.
Yeah.
That's
They
that
come.
that's that rich energy. I love it,
Yeah.
Megan.
And you know what's crazy to me? What's crazy about it? My husband gave me so much, and
Uh-huh.
it's the same price as making our own.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like you're winning. Like
Yeah.
I need to so I have a meal delivery service, which is basically it's sort of like HelloFresh, but they're already cooked because I
Hmm.
don't want to have to cook it. And so I've been jokingly calling that my personal chef whenever they deliver the meals. But I'm working up to the personal
Ours
chef.
is kind of a meal service because they're like the lunches are like catered, mostly made salads. Like we might have to cut up a pepper or something, but you basically
Mm-hmm.
just have to put dressing on it and it's done. And then the
Mm.
dinners are like microwavable. Some of them
Yep.
are very delicious. Some of them are kind of mediocre, but it's so much more efficient than making lunch every day that
Mm-hmm.
whatever, it's fine.
And you don't have to think about it, which
No, it's just there.
When you run a successful business, helping create amazing authors, you got to save time.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so answering your question before the buzzer so rudely interrupted us was yeah, so we're selecting clients based on that, right? And we only
Okay.
work on a certain kind of book. We only work
Okay.
on what's called prescriptive nonfiction, which
Mm.
means that it's basically how-to books. So books that
Mm-hmm.
tell people how to do something, whether that's
Mm-hmm.
manage their money. We just had a big book sell to Random House, Penguin Random House on unlearning silence, which is like what I call sneaky DEI. And we have like it's not
Mm.
Jedi or DEI like front facing, but it definitely
Uh-huh.
will do that work. And then we also have a couple books on, diet. I joke with my team that the things we can always sell are diet, money, and sex,
Okay.
because they're just perennial
Noted.
topics. So
Yeah.
everybody wants those books. Yeah, we run the gamut, really.
So this is very appealing to me personally. Like I love books. I mean, I have books sitting here. I have like I counted I think a few weeks ago over 300 books in my little apartment, and my apartment is like that big. So that's a lot
Amazing.
of books. Also, my first job was in the library. So
Oh, that's so
love
awesome.
love that. And I'm also aware of, in some ways, the underrepresentation in the publishing industry. I was involved on a project several years ago around trying to diversify children's books
Mm-hmm.
that feature main characters of color, which I think the stat was like back then maybe 10% of books feature a main character of color in children's books. And so I'm wondering, with prescriptive fiction or how-to books, what are, if you know these off the top of your head, like what are some of the stats as far as like representation in the industry with underrepresented and marginalized voices?
I'm glad you asked because Penguin Random House did a study of
Mm-hmm.
they did a study of their employees, which is historically white. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
like unusual and diverse because I wasn't from an Ivy League school or a rich family. Like I'm from Wisconsin, rural Wisconsin, and I was
Wow.
unusual. Um,
Wow.
I was also the go-to person on anything that came in related to country music, which I thought was hilarious. Anyway, so which I love country music, so it's fine. But it's like, don't assume the girl from Wisconsin loves country music, although she does.
I
Um,
mean, I do, but don't assume.
don't assume.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's the key for everything. We might, but just don't assume.
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, they're authors, illustrators, and translators. So really, their contributors were
Mm-hmm.
something like 75% white,
Okay.
and that is highly disproportionate to the actual population of the United
Mm-hmm.
States, which
Mm-hmm.
is more like I forget if I think it's like 40 to 60%
Mm-hmm.
white. So it's like way off, like
Yeah.
completely off. And then when I was looking into, I wrote a couple of emails for my audience about that, educating why
Mm-hmm.
representation matters so much. And the thing that stood out to me is that kids were more likely in 2015, in a study of children's books in 2015, kids were more likely to interact in the book with a talking dinosaur than a Hispanic character,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's just so crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and even like I did a live workshop last year, and I had my assistant put together all the people we've been able to get book deals for, right, on
Mm-hmm.
one slide. I'm going to show
Yeah.
that at the workshop. Not only were 8 of those 18 people white ladies, but we all had the same blowout. It's just like, how does this even happen?
Oh my goodness.
Like, I was like, A, I'm never getting that blowout again.
Right.
And B, we
Now I
could
gotta
do so
change my
much
whole
better,
hairdo.
right? And number two, we can so do better than that, right? So
Yeah.
last year, I think our number for people that we got book deals for was like 40%.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to do that. Like one of my friends, we were chatting about this, and she said, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I was like, "Well, I think the minimum I can do is like pace the general population, right?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, I would like to double that. So if
Mm.
black people are 13, 20% of the American population, I would love to have my list be 40%. Black
Mm-hmm.
authors,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because then I'm correcting for all my competitors who are mostly white
Who
guys.
are,
And
yeah.
like the biggest competitor I have is a white guy who will literally take anybody's money, and
Wow.
does it at scale, which is fine, good for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm just like, no, no, no. Like, I'm going to take your money when I believe I can get you a good return. And that's the
Right.
difference with me, right? So that's really what is different about us. But I'm like, oh, I can be part of this change because I'm a gatekeeper in this
Mm-hmm.
industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I should be letting more people in the gate that don't look like me.
Mm. One, this is so interesting to me. I love that. I support you in
Thank
that.
you.
I think it's definitely a worthwhile goal because, I mean, I started in the magazine industry, and I started in the magazine industry because I remember loving books and magazines as a kid, magazines specifically, and not seeing a lot of representation, not seeing people that look like me. And I literally, like, I have Rachel's book over here. There's just such power in seeing people that look like you on shelves. I want to talk a little bit about your process, though. It
Sure.
sounds like, to me, it sounds like you're a bit of a coach in a lot of ways.
Yeah, so it's funny because I people will be like, "You're an author coach," and I was like, "No, not really. There is no word for what I do. I
Okay.
like to say I'm a unicorn because I am
Okay. Yes.
in a lot of different ways,
Yes.
but but I think I do coaching as part
Uh
of my
huh.
work, but
Uh
I'm
huh.
definitely not a trained coach. I've never taken a coaching certification or anything like that. I have
Mm-hmm.
one of my clients, the wonderful business coach, Jen Kem. She says, I'm not a coach, I'm a fucking advisor because I tell people what to do. I don't let them come to their own conclusions. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of more me, right? I might
Yeah.
coach people around things. Like
Uh huh.
authors are very sensitive beings.
Yeah.
They are very they have a tendency to freak out or focus on the wrong things or get all up in their
Mm-hmm.
heads. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
could probably see this with your clients as well, but like there are
Yeah.
moments in a client career where I'll be like, oh, they're about to flip out. And everyone's like, what? And my team is like, what? I was like, they're going to flip out. Just wait. And then, 2 days later, and they're like, wow, they're really flipping out. And I was like, well, yeah, because this is like the sensitive time of this
Mm-hmm.
journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like how you go bridezilla, like the night at the rehearsal dinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
happens in publishing a lot, where like people will get really weird right around the time their book goes out to publishers on
Mm-hmm.
submission. They'll get really awkward, or right before their book's about to get turned in, they'll question everything they've done in the process up until this point. So there's very like little emotional moments in the process, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's when I do some of my best work. In that I talk people down. I used to be a bartender. I was very good at it. I feel like it's the same skills.
That was gonna be my next question. Is like, how
Mm-hmm.
did you learn those skills? Of, I
Cocktail
mean,
waitressing at a dive bar.
that'll do it.
Yeah,
I want to get into. I want to shift gears a little bit.
sure.
So you work on books for a living. Do you read for pleasure still?
Yeah, totally. I love reading fiction for pleasure. Right now,
Yeah.
I'm reading Jasmine Guillory's book. I forget what the title of it is. While We Were Dating, I think is the book. So I love Jasmine Guillory. I've gotten really into like
Okay.
contemporary romance novels lately, which is
Literary
weird because I'm not usually
romance.
that person, but they're fun and they're light and
Uh
it's
huh.
easy to read. I like reading nonfiction too. I really like books about like history and about people in history, women in history doing
Mm-hmm.
cool stuff. I like those books. I really wanted to work on those books, but like it just wasn't a good fit for where I worked, and then I ended up in this prescriptive nonfiction space. So that's what
Mm.
I really like. I get to geek out and learn. So
Yeah.
I do definitely still read for pleasure. I love a good chick flick book. I love a good I don't really read mysteries or thrillers. That's not really my
Uh
jam,
huh.
but mhm.
Have you ever read a prescriptive nonfiction book that you thought, damn, I wish I would have pitched
All the
this one?
time. I see them in the deal section. So we get this like email list of
Mm-hmm.
books, and we get this, email every day in the publishing industry of the latest deals. And there'll be stuff
Is
I was like,
is
that
it
sounds,
Publishers Marketplace? What is that
it
thing called?
is.
Okay.
Way to go. Yeah, it is that. So
Yep.
I get them and I'm like, I'm looking to see what's out in the market. That's really why I'm reading it, what's
Mm-hmm.
selling, who might be a competitor,
Mm-hmm.
which agents I might want to say, hey, like I love that book deal. What else are you looking for? Need any more
Mm-hmm.
clients? Want to need more cool shit? Here we go. Um, so
I
yeah,
love it.
so that's sort of how that goes. But yeah, I definitely see like the ones that got away a little bit. And then I like the reality star books, like Tarek El Moussa or however you pronounce his name. He from Flipper Flop, he just sold a
Oh,
book, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna throw my hat in the ring on that one, but man, I was like, that's cool. I was like, I
I
like
didn't
it.
know that he just sold a book. So I've been watching his now wife on Selling Sunset.
Oh, I love Selling
So,
Sun. We could talk about Selling
my
Sunset at
God.
length.
Yes.
I love that. I'm Team Chriselle for what it's worth.
I am too. Oh, Megan, I have so many thoughts about that last season. That's a whole episode right there about Selling
I
Sunset.
mean, we could talk about that $1 million listing. One of my friends,
Woo.
$1 million listing New York. One of my friends is Ryan Serhant's agent, and I'm such a Ryan Serhant fangirl. And she's just like,
Wait, what is this on? Is this HGTV?
no, $1 million listing New York is Bravo. It comes
Writes
on during the
down.
summer, but there should be several seasons. It's got the
Okay.
same vibe as Selling Sunset,
Okay.
except it's mostly they brought in one woman this season or the season before, but there's like two or three guys that are like fake fighting, and it's so fun. It's such a you get to watch so many different pieces of real estate.
Adding that to my list because I need something while Selling Sunset is between seasons.
Oh yeah, I think they're definitely gonna come back sooner there because they dropped that. They never had like a season preview at the end before, so I'm
Yeah.
suspect.
They've also been promoting season 5 a lot lately on
Yeah,
Instagram. So,
I'm
yeah,
ready.
I am too. I love how that derailed us. I derailed us by
I,
talking
I
about
mean,
Selling Sunset. Okay, so we were talking about books that you wish you would have gotten. What is the most challenging part of your work?
it's a little bit of, I think for me, I see a lot of people that could do it, right? Like
Mm,
if this sounds really cheesy and I don't want to like shame anybody, but like if they really believed and if they really sat down and did the work, they could do it.
mm,
Part of what actually I created my program Platform Builders out of was this idea of like, okay, so these people do come to me with
mm-hmm.
millions of followers or thousands of followers, great intellectual property, an established voice. They're very, very successful. So when I sat down and
Yeah.
thought, what are they doing that
Mm-hmm.
everybody else isn't doing?
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, actually, I remember a conversation with my mom when I worked at Simon Schuster, and I came home and I had a bee in my body about something. And I was talking about my friend Rachel. And I was like, me and Rachel get it. I don't know why everybody else doesn't get it. And my mom was like, look, not everybody's like you. And I was like, what do you mean? And then my
Mm.
mom was like, not everyone's as like driven or as disciplined. And I was like, well, why the not? And I just didn't get it. Like I just was like, I just didn't understand.
Uh-huh.
And, and I keep remembering that conversation because I was like, certain parts of it is not knowing the path, right? Like not knowing
Mm-hmm.
what you should do, right?
Yeah.
And that's important. We need to acknowledge that. And
Mm-hmm.
I think a big part of what I want to do here with my business is really share our knowledge about the publishing industry equally.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason I should keep the secrets inside my head. I should just tell
Mm-hmm.
everybody how this works and talk about it very honestly, the good things and the bad things about the model, right? So fine. But then I was also like, oh yeah, is like this quality
Mm-hmm.
in people that I can see it, but they have to show up for themselves. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the trickier thing. It's not a deliverable, right? Like
Yeah.
if someone comes to you and says, Tivi, please help me with my marketing, you're like, great, okay, cool. Give me all this stuff and I'm going to create a strategy for you. I
Yeah.
can do that, but the people that work with me have to execute on it and they
Mm-hmm.
have to actually do the work. And so it's
Yeah.
really hard for a lot of my platform builders. And it takes a long time because it's audience building, which
Mm-hmm.
just whether you do it organic or paid, it just takes time to build up to that level where publishers want to play, where it's
Mm-hmm.
in the, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. You got to
Mm-hmm.
fail a lot on that journey, right? It's the entrepreneurial journey in a little nutshell. And a lot of people don't want that.
Yeah.
A lot of people want guarantees and fast
Mm-hmm.
routes in the right
Mm-hmm.
way, and none of that exists.
Yeah, it makes me think too. One, you said just not understanding the journey, and so I think a lot of times in the absence of knowledge, there's fear, and I'm sure you do a very good job equipping them. But I also think I also wonder if people are actually afraid of the exposure. Like I feel like I run into that a lot with marketing. Like they say, "Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that," but then they're actually afraid to talk about themselves. They're actually afraid to put themselves out there because of whatever that primal human fear of being seen and being attacked. However that shows up for them. Do you think that could be part of it? Is the idea of being seen and being open to attack more broadly?
For sure. It definitely happens more with writers of other genres, right? Because
Mm,
you're not really going to come at somebody for telling you what to do with your money as much as you are as like if you like tell the world your mom was a shitty mom, right? In a memoir,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
So it
mm-hmm.
happens a little less than that. What I see most often is people hiding behind their company names. A big thing here is like, look, like you people don't buy from companies, they buy from people,
Right.
right? And it goes counter to the business advice. It says don't name your company after you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all fine. You can have a company that's named. I mean, Rachel Rogers, right? Successful
Mm-hmm.
best-selling author. Her company's
Yeah.
not called Rachel Rogers Inc. It's called
Mm-hmm.
Hello Seven.
Mm-hmm.
But most people don't know Hello Seven. They know Rachel, and so that's the real
Right.
difference there. So I see a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
And a very smart boss I worked for, this woman, Caroline Sutton, who's still an editor at Penguin Random House, she said, whatever people are writing about is what they need. So a recent
Mm.
incident of that was a platform builder was really spinning out about how, she was going to explain to her team that she wanted to change their content strategy so she could be more of a thought leader. She, of course, coaches on leadership. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, guess what? You need to demonstrate some leadership here and actually have the difficult conversation, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
like it's no surprise that in a lot of ways, like with my clients and with entrepreneurs in general, the cobbler's children wear no shoes, right? So
Yep.
like it's like the leadership person needs leadership, the empathy
Mm-hmm.
person needs empathy. The
Mm-hmm.
like it's just really funny how that works. The most stressed out woman I ever worked with ever in my entire career was writing a book about stress.
Ooh, I feel attacked. Because, and I'm gonna just keep it a band right now. So, I've been working on a project for Hey Awesome Girl, where I'm basically we have a pleasure, ease, abundance framework that where we model our business afterwards, and I've been working on a project like explaining that framework to people, giving people prompts to like incorporate that into their life. And when I say I have been struggling with it, struggling writing it, because right now, this moment in my life, it is so stressful. Like, there's hardly any pleasure, ease, or abundance. Like, I know that that's temporary. Like, it's just the season, but yeah, definitely feel that
Well, the
for
next
sure.
question, right, is like, how can you give yourself just a little bit of pleasure, a little bit of ease, and a little bit of an abundance? I mean, I think you could go get a pint of ice cream and you'd be good on all three of those things.
I mean, I have two of those in the freezer right now. So,
Abundance!
right, abundance.
It's already in your freezer? That's
It's
ease!
okay. And then it's ice cream, so it's pleasure. So,
Yeah,
Megan, look at you solving problems right now.
telling you. Just telling you, that's what it is. A lot of like, but that's true though. So I don't know if you see this with your clients, but I see with my clients that they think like the solution is like somewhere magical to be
Mm-hmm.
found, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, girl, it's right there.
Right.
It's in
Uh-huh.
your fridge.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I get that all the time. People are always like, "Oh, I need a strategy. I need this. I need to get more clients. And yeah, you can have a strategy. There are like very particular things that we do and strategies and frameworks and all of that good stuff. But also, like, the simplest advice that I tell people all the time is, if you want more clients, ask for more clients. Like, just put yourself out there. That's marketing. Like, hey, I need hey people, I need new clients.
Yeah,
At a
totally.
very basic level, that's it. But yeah, there's a lot more involved to that sometimes, but starting with that simplicity is that's the first step.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes people don't want to hear that though. They like want some sort of magic like hand that bestows like 10,000 Instagram followers or like
Mm-hmm.
this new way of doing things. And it's like, no, actually, like I'm gonna quote Jen Kem again, but like the regular rules of business apply.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to generate leads, you need to close sales, you need to have a good profit margin, you
Yeah.
have to know your cost of goods sold, like really
Mm-hmm.
basic stuff.
Yeah, all the unsexy or can be unsexy stuff
Hmm.
because nobody's talking about it on Instagram and taking pictures with their profit margin in
Do you know what that
grease.
would be awesome
So,
though? Is have boring business Instagram.
oh my
We're
God,
all we're,
somebody needs to do this.
where all it is spreadsheets. I went over like something with my husband that we learned from my client Scarlett Cochran was like the spending plan situation. It's not really a
Mm-hmm.
budget, it's like a plan on how you're gonna use your money. And I
Mm-hmm.
was doing the spreadsheet and fixing it, and he was just like, "Wow, babe." And I was like, "What do you mean, wow?" He's like, "Your spreadsheet game is on point." I
That's couples goals right there.
was like, "This isn't even the most complicated spreadsheet."
That is funny.
It was
Let me
really funny.
I want to turn the tables back on you with pleasure, ease, and abundance. How are you cultivating those in your life?
So I will say that my schedule, I created calendar rules and I'm actually sticking to them. I know it's third time is the charm because the other two times I was like, I had no boundaries and just let everybody walk all over my calendar rules. I walked over my own calendar rules really. And so the ease, the ease has been a wide open schedule the last 2 weeks, which was a little bit freaky
Hmm.
because I think I had, correlated being busy to being uh, abundant in my revenue because before
Yes.
I really
Uh-huh.
started marketing myself and my services, I would, have this abundant schedule and it was awesome, but like an easy schedule, but it was like making me like, 60K a year. And then I was like
Mm-hmm.
crazy and I was making lots of money. So now I'm like, ooh, cool. Can I be easy with my schedule and make crazy amounts of money? I think I can
Mm-hmm.
because it's not like it's nothing is wrong. It just is the
Right.
calendar rules are working. That's all there is to it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really what is happening there.
Can we dig into that for
Yeah.
people who don't know what calendar rules
Oh,
are and maybe some
yes.
tips for them?
Yeah, 100%. So calendar rules, and I have them on my wall so I can look at them. And my assistant the other day, she's like, "I'm following this," and she had it hard copied out. It was so cute. So calendar rules are you set your own. Actually, I'm going to back up. So I have a client, Jamie Sears, who teaches teachers how to take care of themselves and stay in the profession because teachers
Hmm.
bend over backwards to take care of everybody but
Mm-hmm.
themselves, right? Um,
Yeah.
and so one of the first things this is a preview of Jamie's upcoming book, but she has the readers of her book define success. And
Hmm.
a lot of people think of success as like that big hustle culture thing or,
Mm-hmm.
something outside of themselves, where again,
Mm-hmm.
ultimately it's inside of you. So my
Mm-hmm.
success definition of success, which is also on my wall, so I can quote it. Success to me is being a creative entrepreneur who gives people a way to achieve their dreams of being published
Hmm.
and known while working less than 40 hours a week so that I can spend time outdoors, travel, explore, and take care of myself. Right? Now I need to check myself. That
Yes.
sounds fucking fancy. And like I've done everything, but I have to check myself a lot on that and be like, am I living up to this? Right?
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
my calendar rules, I don't work on Friday unless I fuck up during the rest of the week and need
Mm-hmm.
to catch up on something, right? Unless there's very few
Mm-hmm.
emergencies in book publishing. So if there's something that's last minute or delayed, it's likely because we didn't and like do something, a week beforehand. So
Mm-hmm.
on Monday, I silo my time very hardcore because
Okay.
I actually was talking with my team earlier and my social media manager was like, you didn't do that reel. And I was like, oh, I'm dressed today. I'll do it right now. Because I don't want to get
Mm-hmm.
dressed every single day. I don't want to put on makeup every single day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so on Mondays, I don't get dressed. I do get dressed, but I'm usually wearing yoga stuff because I do yoga on Monday night. And so that's when I meet
Uh-huh.
with my team. I do all internal
Mm-hmm.
meetings on Mondays. Those are all our one-to-ones. I also do what I
Mm-hmm.
call a CEO sprint, which is like
Mm-hmm.
it it kind of is like whatever I need to do, but it's intended to be a leadership orientated sprint. I also do a quarterly
Mm-hmm.
project sprint. So whatever a quarterly project is, this
Mm-hmm.
quarter we're working on our first ever live virtual workshop, right? So I might write
Okay.
a landing page for that or emails for that or strategize around the
Mm-hmm.
ads or whatever it is. For our group program, I have 20 one-on-one mentorship slots for our membership. So on
Uh-huh.
Tuesday morning, there's a set time for that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a networking sprint, which is when I reach out to all those agents who, represent Tarek and other people I would potentially work with, letting them know that I'm
Mm-hmm.
available to help on proposals or, just kind of connecting and keeping up my network with that. Or I might pop into the group
Yeah.
we're a part of, We Shall Be Millionaires, and post something or react to a post or whatever.
Yeah.
And then on Tuesdays, there's like set times for everything. So there's like two sales
Mm-hmm.
call windows on Tuesdays. There's
Mm-hmm.
every person working with us on a proposal has a set time to meet with
Okay.
us. We might meet with them this week, we might not, but they have set
Mm-hmm.
times. So that's happening Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I've got some flex time in there. I've got some content time, and those are all built
Mm-hmm.
into the schedule. So nobody overwrites those,
Wow.
right? I can make
Mm-hmm.
exceptions. Um,
Right.
and usually it ends up in flex time. So, like, we're recording this in flex time, for example, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
that is truly flex time, but it's meant to be less meeting orientated and more like exceptions to the rule. So, things like interviews like this,
Yeah.
or,
Uh-huh.
if a client needs me, or for example, we had to reschedule our marketing meeting because I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be gone for 2 weeks. So, we moved it into a flex time spot. So the calendar rules too, and I'm
Wow.
pulling up a folder so I can see the bottom. We usually have a number of meetings I can have in a day, which is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And we can also have we have rules around who gets sales calls with me and who gets sales calls with our salesperson as well.
Hmm. I love that. And I know my operations manager is going to be listening to this like, see, I told you, Tivi, you need your calendar rules.
And
I can hear her right now.
you can get tight too. I was like, I work Monday through Wednesday, 9 a.m. to noon and 1 p.m. to 5:30. And then I work Thursday, 8 a.m. to noon and 1 to 5. And that's it. Those are my hours. That's what's up.
That's the goal. That's the
Mm-hmm.
goal. Yeah, cuz right now and this is why I've been so stressed the past couple weeks. I mean, there's some weeks where I have 25 hours worth of meetings in a week.
You can't be doing that to yourself.
And tell me, Megan, because because clearly I don't love me.
That's not
I hate
true. That's
to.
not true. I think what happens is that we think meetings are productive. We're like, really? Like most of the time? Like I'm trying to cut my one-on-ones with my team down to 30 minutes because
Mhm.
one of my colleagues, Blair, one of the collaborators who helps write proposals and books for our clients, we had an hour-long
Mhm.
meeting. And I think because she really wants to do a good job. She's awesome at her job. She really wants to do a good job.
Mhm.
She was filling that space. But then she was like, "Oh, I need to cut this
Mhm.
meeting for a couple weeks so I can meet with this client afterwards." And I said, "Great." So I was like, "Let's do 30-minute meeting and we'll just really hit it." And we really hit it. Everything
Yeah.
got taken care of. And I was like, "Cool.
Mhm.
This proves that we can do 30-minute meetings."
Right. Yeah. And sometimes it can be a 15-minute meeting. Like I have the speedy meeting setting on my calendar now where they're no longer hour-long meetings. It's 45 minutes or it's 25 minutes. Like and I'm going to probably take it down
Well,
even
yeah, and you've
more.
got to pee.
Right.
You
Yeah.
gotta go get a cup of caffeine. Like it's just is what it is. I mean, I don't think I remember meetings about meetings in corporate, and it was one of the things I thought was the most stupid thing. Or the meeting to prepare for the
Yeah.
meeting. Like, no.
Uh-huh.
Just have the fucking meeting.
Yeah. Oh man. Yes, that is my goal over the next 2 months is to severely cut down on my meetings and implement calendar rules, which is great advice. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
What are you looking forward to over the next 12 months? What's next for you?
Well, I'm going on vacation for like 10 days. Two different trips.
Where
I'm
are you
going to
going?
Florida for my coach's event, which is very woo.
Uh-huh.
Last time someone ended up like speaking in tongues, which was amazing. And my best friend made fun of it. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna like, go speak in tongues." And I was like, "I didn't do that, but Sharonda did."
Can, do you mind sharing this event? I love the
No,
woo.
not at all. It's called Powerhouse. It's sold out right now, but the coach is Tracy Litt, and I can't speak more highly of her. I met her at an event. When I meet people at an
Mm-hmm.
event, this was a book event. I met her at a
Uh-huh.
book event, and everyone thought she was crazy. I usually think that person's brilliant. So everyone thought
I love it.
Rachel was abrasive. I was like, get me in that. I was like, she's gonna sell
Yeah.
so many copies. Or like Tracy, I was
Yeah.
just like, I don't know who this woman is, but like she's walking in here with a whole different vibe, and I want to be a part of that too. So yeah, I would say Tracy totally changed my life completely. And I love her events and they're really well done. So
Okay. All right. So going to Florida for the
going to
first
Florida for
part
the
of the
first part.
vacation, and then
And she has it every year at a 5-star hotel too, which is nice. Um, yeah. And then I'm going to Arizona for a friend's wedding. But my
nice.
pandemic hobby is golf. So I've gotten into golf
Hmm.
and I'm starting to get okay at it. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited because I have to actually buy a golf bag to travel with my clubs for the first time.
Oh, pinky out,
Yeah.
fancy.
Well, because I'm flying first class, I get two
Okay.
bags.
Yeah. Yes. First class. I bought my first class ticket last weekend, and I was
You
like,
ready?
"Ooh,
Run the
I'm
ads. Run
ready."
your ads through like I use a Delta Sky Miles card, right? They have a Delta Sky
Mm-hmm.
Miles business Amex. Run all your ads
Uh huh.
through there and you'll be fine first class no time.
That is brilliant.
And they'll
I'll write
actually
that
give you an
down.
Amex concierge on business Amex. So you actually have somebody to actually talk to. So I was talking to this girl and I was like, I wish my assistant could use my card without making her like an extra like card holder. And she's like, oh yeah, you can. Here's this
Mm-hmm.
other way. And I was like, oh cool.
I'm gonna do that right
I will
now.
send you
Well, we're
a.
doing
I
it
think
right
I can
now.
refer you. So I'll refer you because then I get points too.
Ooh, nice.
Let's work this system. Oop, I just threw my planner. My planner just went whoop.
your your network matters. This is why your network is so important. So, first of all, I've definitely enjoyed this conversation. I was actually reading a couple of blog articles on your website and being like, "Oh, I need to take this note. Oh, I need to take this note. Oh, I need to sign up for a newsletter." Great stuff. For folks who don't know, where can they find you online?
So I'm at Meghan Stevenson, MEGHANSTEVENSON.com. I'm also on Instagram at Meg Stevenson. And that blog you mentioned, we actually are just starting a new project. I just leveled up one of my friends from college who's worked for me for about 4 years. I'm leveling her up to be basically a pre COO, which is super exciting. So she's been championing all my editorial content for a while. And so we're going to make that resources page
Mm-mm.
on my website really, really awesome. So it's going to have all of our emails and all of our free content for the last few years, gradually, of course, on it. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking for information about publishing or you just want to know a little bit more about what we do, you can check that out for sure.
Awesome. And we'll definitely add links to everything in the description.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Megan. I really enjoyed the
No
conversation.
problem. I would love to come back and talk about Christine's motivations on selling Sunset because I have a lot
Look,
of questions.
hour two is I have
I have
questions
so many
to
questions.
okay. Oh, Megan, get me out of here, Megan, because you about
Can
to
we talk about
have me
Heather?
going
Can we
off.
talk about Heather?
Okay, that's episode 2 with Meghan Stevenson. We got to talk about selling, or maybe that's the Instagram live that we do.
I think we could go
later.
like, I
Selling
mean, we could
Sunset.
live watch the next season of Love Island. I think that would be very
Yes.
valuable for people.
Okay, y'all have to comment on this episode if that's what y'all want. Discuss Selling Sunset season 5.
Yes.
I'm with it. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time, Megan.
All right. Thank you, Tivi. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope it was fun for you to watch it, because it was definitely fun for me to talk to Megan. She is hilarious, and I can't wait to have another discussion with her about Selling Sunset. On a serious note, we talked about a lot of great things in this episode. We talked about your definition of success. We talked about calendar rules. If you don't have calendar rules implemented in your work, I encourage you to do that now as a practice to help you create more boundaries over your time and over your work week. It's something that I'm actively working to implement in my life. It is a process, so just be kind to yourself as you're developing these calendar rules. We also talked about diversity in the publishing industry and how Megan is working to be an advocate for underrepresented voices, and that definitely is something that I support. We also talked about pleasure, ease, and abundance, and some of the easy, simple ways that we can incorporate that. For example, me going to get this pint of ice cream that I might go do after I finish talking to y'all. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I had a great time. Once again, I'm Tivi Jones, founder and CEO of Hey Awesome Girl. As a reminder, I'm going to tell you, Hey Awesome Girl's social mission is to celebrate and empower women, especially women of color. We believe digital entrepreneurship is a resource for increasing confidence, closing racial and gender wealth gaps, and providing a means of freedom for women all over the world. As we like to say, empowered women empower women, and that is exactly what we're trying to do on this show. Stay tuned for our next episode. In the meantime, please like, follow, and subscribe. Head on over to heyawesomegirl.com to sign up for our email list and learn about our new hag swag. Until next time, please stay awesome, girl. So it's me again, just jumping back on to share a special resource with you. So I know I talk a lot about our pleasure, ease, and abundance framework that we use at Hey Awesome Girl, but maybe you aren't quite sure what that means and how you can incorporate that into your life. Well, we have a free resource for you that can help with that. It's our Pleasure, Ease, and Abundance playbook. In this playbook, I outline the 9 elements of pleasure, ease, and abundance you need to consider to help you create a life that is fun, fabulous, and free. I walk you through journal prompts, I share resources, and give you some actionable steps you can take to get you further away from stress, exhaustion, and being broke. To download this free playbook, go to heyawesomegirl.com/framework, enter your email address, and we'll send it right over to you. That's heyawesomegirl.com/framework to download your free playbook today.